Hello and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name is Chuck Woodin. I'll be your host. I'm joined by my co-host, Katrina. I almost said Katrina. Katrina Cat Zigwolf. Kat's an Army veteran, and it's great to have you back. Kat's been a member of the crew for a number of years now, and she's always filling in here as a co-host, and it does an amazing job. Looking forward to another great show. Two-parter. We got a two-parter this time. This is part one. We have a group. If those that have watched the show recently, this may look familiar because we had you guys here not too long ago. Yeah. Promised you a two-parter, and by golly, we're going to do it. The organization is Everlasting Veteran. They're out of the southeast corner of the state. They do some amazing things. It's actually in its infancy, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So let's start with. To my right is Tom Smith. He is the owner of Meadow Ridge Wimes and Danes.
Yes.
I said it right this time.
You did. You did.
Practice makes perfect.
That's good.
We should probably just end the show now. I actually said a name right. And to his right, we've got Ryan Landry. He's the owner and founder of Everlasting Veteran.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you back. It really is. We learned a lot the first time. I'm sure this segment and the part two is going to be fantastic. So. With you guys being so new, just this year, right?
Yeah, February of 2023.
Yeah. Let's start off with veteran status. You're a veteran.
I am.
What branch? When did you serve?
United States Army, 2009 to 2017. 2nd Cavalry Regiment, all my 2nd Cav brothers and sisters out there. Tight-knit family in Germany. Deployed with them. Got out, went to the 1st 103rd in Rhode Island. It's the closest artillery they had. Other than that, it would have been Massachusetts or Jersey. So I said Rhode Island.
Good choice. Good choice. On behalf of the viewers, us here at the Veterans Corner, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Tom, you didn't serve.
I did not.
But like I've said to you in the past,
Yes.
What you're doing now, you're serving now. We have a lot of guests on this show that didn't serve as veterans, but we make sure that they understand that what they're doing now is extremely important for the veteran community. You got 3 veterans here that consider you part of the brotherhood and sisterhood because of everything you do for the veteran community.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a show we got a lot to cover actually. Let's jump into it, Kat.
So, Everlasting Veteran, how did it come to be? What's your mission? What's the goal?
Yeah, so last year, February of 2023, is when it was officially formed. Started off with just kind of me and a mic. Said I wanted to do something different, push myself outside the box of telling my story, getting other veterans to tell their stories, getting perspective from people that didn't serve either in the military or first responder communities, just because I feel that it helped me grow getting perspective outside of just the veteran community, to help myself grow, to better understand what I was going through, getting out of the military with transition and finding purpose again. And the mission for Everlasting Veteran is just that, helping with transition, regaining purpose. And a lot of times, what happens is, the veterans or anybody transitioning out of a career, mostly out of the military, think of it as a singular transition. There's multiple transitions that happen. There's the physical one of actually your contract ending and you're leaving service. There's a transition into the VA system. There's a transition. A lot of people don't think about it. I had a talk with one of my buddies from Second Cav, and he was actually on the podcast. If you have a dual military family, both are in the military, and they have to figure out, okay, one of us transitions first, because if both transition at the same time, you don't have any money, right? You can't pay your bills. So multiple transitions happen when you're getting out of the military. And it's a strategic thing that's being in the right mindset, not thinking of it as a singular transition of just leaving the military is crucial in helping form your success for your future outside the military.
And going forward, what's the plan? What's the goal or the dream?
Yeah, so Tom, Teresa, and last episode we had retired Colonel Kevin Brown on.
Yeah.
I have Rob Garcia out in California, shout out to him, and Brandy Rector down in Oklahoma, along with my wife Heather, and a couple other people that we're going to be forming the Everlasting Veteran Foundation. It's in the talks right now, in the works. Obviously, anybody that has run or been part of a nonprofit understands there's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. With that being said, the outpour of support has been tremendous, and I appreciate every single person that has helped thus far get us to the point that we are right now. And the reason why I started it as a LLC is because I have 8 trademarks filed to be able to protect the name, protect the logo, protect our content, protect our marketing, and everything else, to then be able to give permission to the foundation, the nonprofit side, which then is protected as well. So it's a very strategic business model in which I've kind of formulated and been following, slowly introducing more as I go, to be able to make sure that there's a good foundation that veterans can rely on.
Yes.
And know that we're not going anywhere. Everlasting Veterans here to stay. And with Tom and Teresa's help, with them coming on with the dog program, and with the podcast and other veterans and other people alike around the country and actually around the world coming on to the podcast, is helping with that perspective. Giving us a little bit more that we can better ourselves.
You had mentioned going slowly and just it's almost like a fire. You don't just throw everything on at once. It's slowly building it up.
But moving quickly.
Yes. Yeah, the conversations we've had, you're definitely at a controlled, fast ascent. And like we had discussed earlier, looking forward to see where you are next year at this time, because in the short period of time that you've been around, you've done some amazing things. You mentioned dogs. For the viewers, obviously they saw one of them here.
Harley.
I forgot the name of this.
Harley.
Harley. The viewers, you might hear some dogs in the background. There's 3 others out there. A massive horse, Great Dane, and 2 others, beautiful dogs, service dogs, future service dogs.
Future service dogs.
So just want to let the viewers know when you hear barking in the background, those are dogs.
Yes.
It's not your neighbors.
It's your set. It's us.
Sorry.
Control chaos.
Yes.
But it's nice.
Nice.
It's not every day we have one dog. There might 4 dogs on the set of the Veterans Corner. So what was your initial priorities with the podcast?
So
What's the name of it?
So yeah, the podcast, I've stuck with the name Everlasting Veteran. That's what's on YouTube. That's what's on the page. So it's easy to follow. Not changing it to a different name, to kind of throw people off. Everlasting Veteran is Everlasting Veteran. The logo you see is the logo you see across the board everywhere. The priorities, obviously making sure that getting out good content, other veterans talking about what transition, they went through, what worked, what didn't work. Priorities on my side, obviously, was good equipment. Sound is a key thing, I can deal with a little lag in the camera, but if you can't hear somebody correctly, it's not the greatest thing. Creating an environment that's comfortable for other people to get together and talk. And I've progressed to the point where I've created a podcast studio, a little less than 500 square feet. Right now it's a 3-person table, compliments to podcasttables.shop. Has come on as a major sponsor and sent me a table for the podcast area. I'm so grateful for them coming on as a sponsor and helping out, and just creating a great atmosphere to be able to talk about what's going on. Sometimes a lot of people don't realize the logo, it seems very simplistic, but sometimes we just need to slow down and listen. And that's why I just went with the headphones. Sometimes you just need to listen to somebody to your left and your right. They need to listen to you, and it just will help you grow as a person and be the best version of yourself.
You've got a lot of organizations down in that area. We're starting to tap that area now. I mean, the Veterans Corner. I mean, you're a central part of the state here in Connecticut. I have to say Connecticut because this is seen all over on YouTube. And it's not just, we wanted to make sure that we weren't just covering this area. This show is far-reaching. And, what works out there may work here and vice versa, or just jumping in as partnerships.
Right.
Taking your brand and stretching it out and it helps the veterans community as a whole, and that's what this show is all about. Now, the purpose. I know we talked about the priorities. What was the purpose of initial purpose of the podcast?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, the initial purpose, it was helping me get through some stuff. Everybody has times in which they've hit their lows, they've hit their highs. It was a different way for me to kind of get myself out there and be able to connect with the veteran community in a different way versus just going to events. And bringing other veterans and other people onto the podcast, and really just diving into what's going on with you. You have an atmosphere where it's comfortable to talk in, kind of a unorthodox therapy of sorts. You don't always have to, go out and have drinks. You don't always have to, have the structured, regimented, way to do things. And sometimes just having some laughter, have some jokes with some friends in front of a microphone, being able to collaborate with, like Rodney Norman, came on, and great, amazing individual, Marine Corps veteran and comedian, and just hanging out with him and getting kind of picking his brain a little bit, and what's going on helped me.
We called that banter therapy.
Yeah.
Civilians are like, that's mean. And we're like, no, it's code.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's one of those things that a lot of people don't realize, that sometimes you just kind of hit the pause button from life, right, and just get down to the nitty gritty. Like, Chuck, how you doing? Tom, how was your day? Like, how are you doing? And just kind of be able to talk it out. It's not a sign of weakness; it's a sign of strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
How many episodes or seasons have you had?
Yeah, so we're going to be coming up on season 4. Season 4 is going to kick off soon. Just got done with the build of the studio, which
Looks terrific.
was an intensive project in itself. I definitely have to give a shout out to the Home Depot for coming on and helping with materials. Craig and his team, CB Painting. He saw what I was doing with the veteran community. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to get my guys in, and I want to hang the sheetrock and paint for you." Which helped on time and everything else, and that was his way of giving it forward. His dad's a veteran. He served in the military. We talked about it before. Of you don't have to serve in the military to serve. Everybody knows at least a veteran, or they're in their family.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where if we come together as a community, all right, you have unity and be able to help each other.
You had mentioned something a little bit back that it just popped into my head. I'm a little bit older, and back then it was, you had mentioned drinking, and the older generation, that's pretty much what you did. May it be as with the veterans or first responders. I mean, you would hit the bar afterwards.
Right.
As most of us found out, not a successful way of unwinding. May think it is, but what's happening now with the younger generations is, that's not even in the thought process. It's doing stuff that you're doing. And that's why the VSOs, veteran service organizations, may it be the Legion, the VFW, we that were in leadership roles at one point, we used to sit there and tell the old timers, you have to think outside the box. And that's, that's what you're doing here. And that's a great thing. And it's with a much higher success rate of your goal.
Yeah.
Compared to back in the days. You just spun your tires and you went and had a few.
Yeah.
Well, that coping with alcohol creates a whole nother set of problems.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not up front, but it will.
It'll
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah, and I mean, we can't beat around the bush. It still exists.
Oh, yeah.
Myself included. Had troubles. Not legal or anything like that, but you get back from deployment, you let loose.
Yeah.
That was how you handle things. You're gone for a year. And then now you're like you just got released from high school.
Yeah.
It's literally that feeling.
They don't to do it
Right.
yourself.
You don't know what to do with yourself, and it's one of those things where they talked about for years on end of erasing stigmas and getting out of the normal course of business. My biggest thing with Everlasting Veteran is having a direct impact in the veteran community. A lot of times you see, hey, we support veterans, or we're doing contributions to veterans. I'm showing you how I'm doing it. I'm providing it up front. And I think a lot of times people kind of stay clear a little bit because there has been some controversy in the past. That's the reality of it. It happens, but as long as you stay true to your values and your purpose and your intent of what you're going to be doing as far as a direct impact in the veteran community, that's how you make change.
We're down to about 6 minutes left, and we got a few more things we'd like to discuss here. Where do you find the topics? I mean, and the guests for that matter. Topics and guests.
Yeah, so I mean, finding the guests, I've reached out to people through TikTok. I've reached out to people through Instagram. Anywhere where I find somebody that is positive, that can contribute something positive to the podcast, they're welcome on, veteran or not. I'm one of those people with my episodes. I don't have just veterans on.
Yeah.
I've had comedians on, I've had singer-songwriters on, from all over the country, and people have reached out to me,
Yeah.
to come on. But it comes down. I'm my own secretary.
Yeah.
I'm my own bookkeeper, schedule keeper, everything else, and I search for positive people, and we come up with, I talk to them. I have a kind of a questionnaire type of thing, so I can kind of get to briefly know them, and then it's open discussion. We have talking points here, and you just let it go where it goes, and it's more authentic, genuine,
Yes.
and it just makes for a good episode.
And we're saying about how to find you on the web, so we're going to put the web address at the bottom of the screen.
The World Wide Webs. Yeah, so you can go to everlastingveteran.com. Obviously on YouTube, you can search Everlasting Veteran. In fact, you can just Google, and it's right now the first 15 things that comes up. But everlastingveteran.com is going to have all your resources to be able to get your links to the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff.
And if people want to support you, there's links for that as well.
Yep, right on the front page. There's support links for that. Supportive apparel. I like calling it supportive apparel because it really is. It helps, with the service dog program, and eventually, as we branch off with the Everlasting Veteran Foundation, we start tackling the veteran homelessness.
What are some of the topics that you're looking forward to bringing up and discussing in the next season?
So I'm going to be honest with you. I love doing all different types.
Yeah.
I like trying to at least have one featured artist on each season. Whether it's country, R&B, and a lot of times the artists coming on, are just starting out. Great, music, original music, and creating a platform where, it's not just your, I got Toby Keith or, like helping other people that are in different worlds, of growing, and some of the topics that we're going to be covering is diving a little bit more in transition. One of the big things that Everlasting Veteran does as well is helping out with entrepreneurship, diving into starting your own business, how you start your own business, good business models, really taking a dive into that, real estate investing. There's all different types of topics where anybody could be able to take a little bit away from whatever field or area you're in, and be able to implement it into what you're doing.
I know, I'm not going to try the last name. I'm trying to remember what the last name is. Randy, retired chief, Navy. I think he does roofs now. But for a while there, he was with Berkshire Hathaway. I know that because I'm with Berkshire Hathaway up in this area. We've actually had him on the show with two other veterans who went into real estate. So that might be somebody you might want to reach out to.
Yep.
He's down in that area.
Yeah, and I'm also in real estate. I'm with Remax One.
Okay.
I've been it was one of those things growing up, just the banter back and forth. My mom doing closings and stuff in the legal side of things, big commercial closings. I unintentionally in my subconscious, kind of listened and absorbed all that. And I love it. I mean, it's a great different option and career field if, different types of entrepreneurship or not being that normal 9 to 5, doesn't work out for you. There's different avenues of approach, and be able to kind of piece together and show what you can do is a big thing. And
Sponsors. We got less than a minute left. Do you have any sponsors?
Yeah, so podcasttables.shop just newly came on. It's a podcast table company, and they have supplied beautiful podcast tables specifically made for podcasting. And To start everything off, I have to give it out to Brandy Rector with Sky Hunter Outfitters, helicopter hog hunting company out of Idabel, Oklahoma. Was the first sponsor that I had, believed in the mission. And they are doing amazing things in Oklahoma, them and Sepper Fly, and who's play off of Marine Corps. Helping build the space. The Lisbon and Montville Home Depot came on and helped with supplies for the building of the podcast studio. And we had Tractor Supply came on with food donations for the dogs as well.
I'm getting the word. We got to wrap it up. Once again, it was an absolute pleasure having you guys back. I look forward. Kat looks forward. The crew here looks forward to having you guys back. So with that being said, thank you. Thanks to the viewers.
Yep.
Thanks for watching the Veterans Corner. See you next time. Good night.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, tiki-taka, hoi, hoi, hoi!
I'm your host, Kurt Barwis. Today, I have a very special guest, Dr. Andrew Lim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name's Chuck Woodin.
Decision for ourselves for this week if we want to be made well.
Hi, welcome to the crack of dawn. It's Dawn Lombardi. I'm starting the painting. It's going to be the clips with some water. Love it.
He took me on the sets of Lost in Space, Batman.
Everybody has a story. What's yours? Until next time.